Ross.
And I'm AJ Finney.
And this is
Hippie,
Not Hippie. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 20 of Hippie, Not Hippie.
Oh yeah! Decided to mix it up there. Off the turnbuckle, Gene.
But yeah, we are joined, we have two guests today. We have Ian Aber and Payne Broom, everybody.
God damn, it's the middle name.
Hello.
Yeah, visiting us all the way from Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia. We're here.
Hell yeah. No, happy to have you guys. They were kind enough to put Bert and I up when we were traveling through Atlanta a few weeks ago. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. So I'm happy to have you here
Thanks for having us out.
on the podcast. Yeah, it was Atlanta was the one place where I was like, holy shit, I think I'm high enough to go to sleep. Thanks so much for joining us. And yeah, we're going to kind of get into a few things to find out if Ian is a hippie or not. And we have Payne here to help keep him honest. So
You're in trouble now.
Don't you dare keep me honest. That's the worst.
I'm going to tell all your secrets.
Oh, don't you dare. How dare you?
hell yeah. That's what we have you here for, the juice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the tea. So just a little bit for people, did you grow up in Atlanta?
I didn't. I've lived in Atlanta like since high school. My father was in the military. I was in the Air Force. And so I was an Air Force brat, and I lived all over in like Guam and Texas and Virginia and Louisiana and California.
I like how Guam is like so like exotic, and then it's like in Texas and Louisiana and
always
Florida.
lead with the most exotic. Yeah. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You know, all the riveting, exciting places.
I've been to Myrtle Beach. Party town.
So you were a military brat. When was the first time as a military brat that you remember hearing about hippies?
Ooh.
Or that you remember encountering a hippie?
Well, okay, so conceptually a hippie would be like maybe in a rerun of like something like Laugh-In.
Yeah.
So,
Wow,
you know what I'm saying? Because like, that would be sort of as a little kid I would watch stuff like that because I was, you know, I don't know, I'm gay and funny. And so that was like gay and funny to me. But when we lived in Guam, they found some pot plants on the Air Force Base. And I remember them being like, there ain't no hippies, because it was like 1981.
Oh, wow.
And there was a big discussion about, like, I didn't know what a hippie was, and I'd never seen a hippie, but I knew it was a bad thing because they were smoking the devil's plant and whatever else.
The devil's lettuce.
Yes,
Devil's lettuce.
exactly.
Wacky tobacco.
Exactly.
So they found weed plants and they immediately came and questioned you?
No. I just remember hearing about it. And then I feel like when I lived in Myrtle Beach, I definitely met some hippies. That's when I first started meeting people that I would say are definitely crunchy, hippie.
Yeah. That's a bold move to grow plants on a military base.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, or it's like you're like, they'll never look here.
Yeah.
Right.
Where are you growing weed? Inside of an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
It is very good weed.
Yeah.
No.
Where were you born, though?
I was born in Bossier City, Louisiana.
Okay.
If you aren't able to tell about how southern I sound.
You're like, hey, bear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was born in Bossier City, Louisiana.
And how long were you there before?
Very, very short time, probably about a year. And then California, San Bernardino, none of the fun parts.
Yeah.
San Bernardino, California. And then Virginia, Texas, Guam, Myrtle Beach. And then I finally found my way to Atlanta.
Wow. So a lot of southern states.
Absolutely, yep.
Do you enjoy the South?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Actually, you know, like, I don't know. I enjoy Atlanta.
Okay.
And the metropolitan South.
Yeah.
The rest of the South I can, you know, on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
I suppose.
There is just like these fucking oases in the South, the metropolitan areas.
Absolutely.
Gosh, man, it's so nice. Anytime I entered one of those cities, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm just another person in a city now. I'm not long-haired guy with fucking Colorado plates.
Yeah.
Like, it's so nice. It feels so good.
Atlanta is a lot like, I don't know, Athens is another one of those places. It seems pretty progressive. Austin, obviously.
Yep. Well, Austin's a college town. Athens is a college town. Bloomington, Indiana, Ann Arbor. Or those kind of places are progressive mostly because of the Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Atlanta, I think, is more of it's a mecca in the sense that if you have any aspirations, if you're somebody who grew up in Opeka, Alabama, and you want to make a name for yourself, you don't think New York City, you think Atlanta, and that's where you're. And if you're queer, you're especially, you're getting out of your small town.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Coming and being
as fast as you can.
Yeah, as fast as your little loafers will take you. Because you got to be a big city gay, But I do like the South, though. I mean, obviously, people say the South and they think racism, and I'm like, but yeah, racism is everywhere, though.
Right.
We just perfected it, I guess, or whatever.
They were just willing to fight a war for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Thought it was interesting because there's the whole statue debate or whatever, like, the statues. And I'm like, but in South Carolina, nobody's talking about all of the mansions.
Oh, yeah.
Like, holy shit. Like, every historical site was just like, check out, it was a plantation.
Well, and, it's like, I remember moving from South Carolina to Georgia, and I had just taken South Carolina history, which was, like...
The War of Northern Aggression.
Yeah, and then I moved to Georgia, and they're like, "Oh, you have to take Georgia history too." And I was like, "It's just one over from what I just took." And then it was the same thing of the war. Our good old boys, and they lay down their lives, and it's like, no, you know what? I don't have any other information available, but that doesn't feel right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that just feels wrong.
So you grew up gay in the South. Mm-hmm. Technical definition of being a hippie is being a part of a counterculture. Mm-hmm. Would you say that being gay is a counterculture?
I suppose. Then, yes. Now, I don't think so.
So would you say that everyone
popular culture absorbs smaller cultures?
Yeah.
And so gay was its own subculture, completely distinct from straight culture in the 80s and 90s. And I feel like now, especially because of stuff like RuPaul's Drag Race and just people being more out, I feel like being gay is sort of like way more in the regular conversation than it's ever been before, which normalizes it to some degree. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it definitely was completely counterculture. And, or maybe I'm just been in the counterculture so long that it's just regular now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, and what I kind of makes me think about it is that, so like, everyone you said that was like out in the 80s and 90s was part of the counterculture. So technically everyone who was gay in the 80s and 90s was a hippie.
Maybe. This is your game. Yeah. I don't want to find out I'm a hippie until the end. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, let's build some suspense.
It was fascinating, though, when you think of the Beat Generation. There were blurred lines everywhere sexually. Like, people were just like, well, we're having fun, and we're just
experimentation, and even just the willingness to try and go, oh, well, that's not for me.
Right.
And it'd be okay, and that there's no stigma to that. And, which I feel like now is sort of like, okay, in some aspects, I feel like the gay as an identity might be sort of like we're post that, and that it may be way more that everyone's fluid, and in the sense of that. Okay, well, yeah, I'm mostly straight, but on occasion I catch a dick or whatever it is. Maybe I pitch the dick. I don't know. I don't know your life like that, but it used to be. It's really funny to me too because it's like. I think kind of like the queers that get the hardest time for nothing, it's like is bisexual people. Like, so anytime anybody says that they're bisexual, there's a gay person somewhere rolling their eyes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. It's like every time someone comes out as bi, there's a gay man going, oh, honey, not this again.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that too.
I'm the other way around, though, because like I'm like, okay, well, when they come to round us up, I've got a hot list of bisexuals for you to go pick up. I've been keeping this whole time. Oh, you're not going to be able to tell they're bisexual because they're with somebody of a different sex.
Yeah.
But they did a post on Facebook about it. And let me tell you, get them. You know what I mean?
Are you keeping a list?
Yeah. Exactly. Honey.
Yeah.
It's actually called the Lisp. LISP.
I've always heard people refer to bisexuals as being greedy.
Yeah, I suppose that's
because they're just like, oh, well, you just have whatever you want. I just love
that idea that, oh, well, I like both men and women. That means that there's some kind of you're getting double the sex.
Right.
It's like you're probably getting double the nose. Is what you're getting. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I just have a list of every comedian that I've seen not wash their hands in the bathroom.
Oh God. Yeah, you right.
Don't fuck with me or I'll put it out.
Right. You can add to that list if you really want to do some spicy goss on your podcast. Is there was a time when I did some kind of showcase thing for NBC at the Hollywood Improv. It was years ago. And I was in the bathroom after I did my set. I was peeing, and Chris D'Elia was peeing, and I walked in and started peeing. And when he was done, he didn't wash his hands when he went out.
Of course, Chris D'Elia didn't wash his hands.
Now, let me tell you, that's the second worst thing I've heard about him.
You heard it here first. Chris D'Elia doesn't wash his hands.
Yeah.
That's because the soap was too old.
Oh, wow. Well, that's fun.
Okay.
So, going down the things here, I noticed do you have some leather boots on?
I do.
Oh.
These are some, maybe, what are they called? Blunderstones?
Blundstones. Australian.
Yeah, Australian for boots.
Australian for boots.
Yeah.
So, real leather.
Yes, real leather. My belt is not real leather. It's some kind of plastic. But this is a belt for like fat people that instead of it having loops, you just ratchet it onto your body. Like it's a giant. Like basically, my belt is a giant zip tie. But yeah, real leather. I'm okay with leather.
No, but no laces, right? The Blundstone, you just kind of slip it on.
Yeah, it's a Chelsea boot. So that puts it more into the gay category than hippie. Because it's a Chelsea boot.
Is that like a call to the Chelsea Hotel? In Chelsea, New York.
All right, let's not get so deep on it, AJ.
He loves that shit. He paid extra money to stay in the Chelsea.
Are you like an Andy Warhol in that time frame?
I went through a Warhol phase.
Yeah. Okay. But no, I don't believe so.
Okay.
A Chelsea boot is the one with the kind of the rubber on either side, and you kind of pull them on.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's a style of boot, and it might be more. It probably has something to do with England. It was probably like a '60s style originally. Yeah. Don't come for me in the comments.
Yeah.
All the boot core people are going to be like, actually, but yes, leather boots.
Do you own any Birkenstocks?
No, I do own stock in Birkenstocks. Interesting.
Okay.
No,
that's a belief in the product.
Exactly. I don't. I'm not. I have in the biz what we call hideous feet. I have very like Flintstone-y like type feet, so I'm not a big sandals or flip-flops person.
Do you have the big toe?
Yeah, I've got a giant like hobbit looking toe.
That's what I have, a very large big toe.
Yeah.
And my thumbs are super flat.
Yep.
My girlfriend has toe thumbs.
Toe thumbs?
Toe thumbs? Okay.
Yeah, Megan Fox has it too. It's like basically her.
Oh, yeah, they're like round. They're like
little nubby round thumbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She's practically a mutant with those. She was almost perfect.
Yeah. Is that why she climbs around the house so much?
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, she has trouble grip. Like sometimes she'll be giving me a back rub and she's like, "Sorry, I just can't get any momentum with my tiny thumbs."
Yeah. How do you expect to hold on to a man with those tiny thumbs?
So you're not a sandal, open-toed, flip-flop?
No.
You're a leather boot?
A tennis shoe. Yeah, a tennis shoe or a leather boot. Something that's easy to get on and off.
I'm still interested in the stock comment. So you said, no, I don't wear them, but I buy...
Yeah, AJ, that's called wordplay. And I don't know if you imply that into your arsenal of comedy, but it's definitely one of mine.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, no,
the stock and Birkenstock. I'm
not a big stock person, if that's what you're getting at.
I was really hoping that you're I don't wear them, but I am definitely...
Yeah. But I do micro invest. I bought some stocks like through Cash App.
Yeah.
Because people always pay me through Cash App, and then I just started buying.
Oh, I thought at first you said I bought some stocks through Kesha. It's going down.
Her newsletter is really great. It's like she's like, here's my hot buys for the month.
Well, she does have a $sign in her name, so
I mean that's why I originally got involved. I was like, fuck Motley Fool. Let me get on with Kesha.
So, all right. So, in the footwear area, I would say you're not very hippie. But we're not going to reveal anything yet.
Yeah.
Until the end of the show.
Yeah.
But it is debatable. So but you are wearing boots. And that was something that we discussed at one point. No laces.
No laces.
And not shine. You don't shine the boot.
These are like these are, so you don't have to polish them. I wouldn't buy a shine. I may be gay, but I'm not high maintenance about it.
Well,
my
it used to
boots
be
have to be perfect.
It used to be a weird thing in the 60s where that's how you would bust an undercover cop. So if a person had shiny shoes, even if they were in tie-dye and everything, you'd go, oh, that's a narc.
Yeah.
Wow, where did you learn this?
I know, right?
In the narc book of the 1960s?
No.
How to spot a narc?
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of history. I lived on lot for a while. So, like, following around in festivals, like, I had people not talk to me because I'm a collector of things, and so everything I bought to go to this Further show one time was brand new. So I showed up in new patchwork pants, a brand new tie-dye, and people just ostracized me. And then my buddy's like, yeah, dude, they think that you're fucking a narc.
Yeah.
Because he goes, you would have been better off just wadding this up and having it be nasty. So they'd be like, oh, you've been living in that for a while.
Wow.
Okay, safe.
Yeah, when I was a kid, you know, I was a punk rocker kid, and when I would get new shoes, I would like fuck them up. I'd be like rubbing them against the concrete and shit, you know, like trying to fuck them up. So, because they were too clean.
In the gays, we call that distressing.
Yeah, what was the first thing you ever distressed?
My parents. My mother's uterus. I did the same. I had a pair of, like, at least some Chuck Taylor, you know, high top that had the white kind of trim around them, and you wanted that white not to be too white.
Yeah.
You know, an appropriate amount of white, but not too white. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is how I feel about lineups. For comedy, by the way.
So we were talking about Further. What kind of music are you into?
Further now, like, you know, Carly Rae Jepsen would be probably. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm like a pop person now.
Okay, yeah.
But I grew up listening to kind of everything. My mother listened to a lot of Beatles, so I kind of grew up listening to the Beatles a whole bunch, and then like 70s, sort of like Billy Joel, all that. When I started choosing my own music, I sort of went through two phases. I went through a big, like, new wave, like The Smiths, The Cure, Depeche Mode, all that shit.
Someone's got emotions.
Husker Du, all that. Bauhaus, Love and Rockets, all that. So that. And then I went through, like, a classic rock, Grateful Dead, The Doors, sort of phase, Pink Floyd, drugs, when I started doing acid. And so, yeah. And then...
What were you into when you met Payne?
I was probably sort of somewhere in between, like, kind of 80s alternative, and I don't know, we would go to things like Dave Matthews concerts. I've been to more Dave Matthews concerts with this man than I would care to admit. So but I'm kind of a listen to anything. Back then I really didn't listen to a lot of country, but because he's really Southern, I've listened to a lot of country over the last 24 years, so I like country music now too.
I still go see the Grateful Dead and Phish, and
I won't
so much.
I won't
anymore.
go. I won't go.
Yeah,
but I did. I saw a bunch of Grateful Dead concerts when I was in
I found out something about Phish that now, like here at Dick's, if you're a person that doesn't really enjoy the music that much, they do a Thursday through Sunday now. Yeah. The key is to take the person that's not into it that much on the Thursday because it's mild.
Yeah.
By Sunday, the wheels are falling off everybody.
Oh,
yeah. Sundays, always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never miss a Sunday.
Never.
Yeah.
So have you taken him to see the Dead and Co. or Grateful Dead back in the past?
We've never seen that together.
No, we kind of like missed each other on that.
But I saw the Grateful Dead a bunch.
Like with Jerry?
Yeah, absolutely. Before he died.
I never saw
like high
it.
school.
I never did either.
They would tour. So like every summer they would come basically in the spring in Atlanta. Yeah. And a couple times we would go and then they would go to Greensboro, North Carolina and Charlotte and wherever, and we would go along. And not for very many shows, like 2 or 3. Yeah. But yeah, I probably saw the Dead probably about 10 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you eat acid?
Did I eat ass? Ass. For motherfucking breakfast. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yes, I did eat acid. I love it. I haven't eaten acid at this age. I probably haven't eaten acid since I've known you, but I ate a lot of acid.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I grew up. I was born in and around Leavenworth, so I grew up in Kansas.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest LSD factories was just outside of like Lawrence, Kansas.
Okay.
There was a missile silo. So when I was a kid, it was
filled with acid.
there was a chemist that had worked with Owsley.
Yeah, you've heard of growing weed on a base,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
These people were making LSD
Yeah,
in a missile site.
Some wild documentaries. I think one of them's called White Rabbit book, but you can find out about this guy. The name is spacing me, but he was tied in with like Owsley and all the original like Orange Sunshine guys.
Yeah.
And when the whole, what was it, the Brotherhood of Eternal Love or whatever, when they split and all the chemists started going all over the place, this guy ended up out in Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they were cooking up stuff that they didn't even have names for. Ooh. But LSD, MDMA, DMT, and
They were like, LS, we can't think of any more letters.
ZZZ, top.
Oh man.
Yeah, but it was wild. So it was everywhere when I was younger. I didn't realize that in some areas.
I understood half of what you just said, so maybe I'm not a hippie. I don't know.
Yeah, I ate a lot of acid when I was a kid, and I like in high school and stuff, and I haven't in like 10 years, and I am not like you. I'm not into jam bands or whatever. I'm the not hippie part of the hippie not hippie.
Oh, well, we're gonna flip that.
But AJ is
Flippy. You're a Flippy.
taking me
hippie
to
flippy.
Dead and Co. We're going to see Dead and Co. in July.
Yeah, July 1st. It is a sold out Saturday. I'm taking Zach to his first first Dead show, and he keeps going. I was like, "You're excited?" And he goes, "I'm excited to hang out with you."
Oh, wow.
And then, but I kept trying to explain to him. He's like, "I want to eat acid and have the whole experience." I was like, "Well, then be ready to throw your wardrobe out and buy tie-dye because your brain's going to be like, this is everything."
Right?
Oh, you're gonna have a great time.
Wait,
Yeah.
when
It's
do
gonna
you
be a
think
great
he should
day.
eat the acid, though? Before the concert starts, or like eat it like 10, 15, 20 minutes in, and then come up in the middle of it?
Well, I mean, if it was up to me, I'd want
Should
you
be
to
up to him.
Yeah, I would. I would.
Curate your drug experience.
I would ideally want you to peak during Drums in Space.
Oh, well, you can't pick a song unless
No.
you know in advance.
The drum. So Drums in
they
Space.
do a solo in the middle.
Yeah. So
Okay.
there's that element. You're familiar, right, Payne?
Yeah.
So Drums in Space is this atmospheric thing that they do where if you're not high, it doesn't make sense. And on live albums, sometimes I skip it because I'm like, this is too confusing.
That's probably when I went to the bathroom or to do more drugs.
Right.
I would assume.
Yeah.
Because I went to Grateful Dead concerts, but I mean, maybe I watched 30, 40, 50% of the show.
Well, that's part of it. It's
Yeah.
background music for whatever party's happening for most
Exactly.
people.
Well, I've always thought of jam bands as kind of like guitar raves. And like,
That's a good way to look
yeah.
at it.
I went
That's
to-
a great way to look at it.
I went to
actually.
raves, and man, they were a lot of fun when I was on drugs. But then I went once, and I was like, I love the music. And I went once without drugs, and I was like, I don't know if I love the music that much.
But that's sort of how I feel about everything, though, right? Like off drugs. Like my family without drugs? Are you kidding? No, I'll pass.
Yeah, like on weed, definitely better.
Yeah.
So, Payne,
Your criteria is interesting. Keep going. Sorry.
well, you come from a musical family, right?
I do. My dad was kind of in the Allman Brothers family tree.
Whoa!
So my dad was the played keyboards for Dickie Betts.
Oh, wow.
Back in the 70s, cut their first album, the Dickie Betts and Great Southern album. So yeah, I was kind of born into that, you could say.
Yeah, for sure.
He was the baby that was born in the back of the Greyhound bus.
Going down highway. Now, you were born a rambling man.
That's right.
Right?
That's awesome. Do you? What was it like growing up with your dad doing that? Was he still playing in bands and stuff when you were a kid, or had he kind of settled down by then?
Yeah, so he played for a while, and then when I was still young, he moved to Alaska and lived up there. But he played music like the rest of his life.
Lived up there.
He
I've been to
always
Alaska,
had a band,
like,
or was in a band, or was involved in playing rock or country or something. In bigger clubs and Anchorage or little dive bars. Out in these little towns. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's wild. I forgot about that. Yeah, Georgia. That's Allman Brother country.
Absolutely, yeah.
Those guys used to fight a lot. Greg Allman and a couple of Dwayne. Yeah, they would get in fist fights
they
sometimes.
really didn't get along.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right. Them and Skinnerd. I think Skinnerd, they used to just go at it. Like, not Allman Brothers versus Skinnerd. They were weird,
just internally.
Yeah, there's
Cage
something
fight.
about brothers fighting where people just like let it go.
Oh yeah. I was a
been
witness
like
to that
that.
one night when I was waiting to go to work, and you and your brother were going at it. That was the day. That was the night. That was the night Jason punched a view hole through the door.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But
I fought with my brother quite a bit over the years. You've seen me and him go at it.
You see my brothers go at it.
Yeah. My brother and I, like, so I'm 50, and my brother's like 54, 50, he's going to be 55 this year. And we still, like, will argue and fight in a way that, like, I won't talk to him for, like, a month or two because I'm like, I need a break from your bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it's the same bullshit that when I was, 6 years old that you're running it. You know what I mean? It's like you're the same guy. And so it's like, I can't change you, but I can, I'll talk to you in 3 weeks. I'll talk to you in 4 weeks or whatever.
my brother will do that where my younger brother, and we get along really well. We shared a room.
Yeah.
But there are certain trigger points. And I know if he's pissing me off, I can go there. And then I go, well, I'm going to talk to you in like 3 months.
Yeah.
Because he'll shut down and get real upset.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the younger brother. I'm the shutter downer. Get real upset.
So I've always had this thought. Younger brothers typically, like the younger siblings sometimes can be like finicky or flinchy because the older brother will learn empathy later on in life.
I don't know. I don't think my brother's learned. No, he has children, so he has empathy. At least for his own children.
Gotcha.
No, he's very empathetic. My parents aren't very empathetic, and I think that's probably what he is. Like, we're both very reverse example. Like, it's like my parents are very, no one taught them how to be loving people.
Was your mom military as well? Or?
Oh, no. God, could you imagine? She's a school teacher. She was a school teacher. And kind of like a hard ass. Senora Aber, because she was a Spanish teacher. She's from Chile, and she taught Spanish, which is like, what are you even doing? That's not hard. That's not hard work.
Right.
I'm just kidding. I only say that because I know she'll never listen to this podcast. Yeah.
We'll send it to her.
She's more of a Joe Rogan guy, really. But no, my dad was the military. My dad is like an anti-hippie. He's definitely like a. Anytime they would find weed in my house. Like anytime they found any of my paraphernalia or whatever, I remember one time I had a dugout filled with weed, and he poured carpenter's glue in it.
What?
And then so when I went to so instead of like taking the weed and throwing it out or confronting
he pranked you.
He would.
Your dad probably has a list of hippies.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's the list he's keeping. He's keeping that.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow. So he glued it shut?
No, he put glue mixed it with the weed, and then it kind of sat up. It absorbed all that glue. And then when I went to pack a ball, which was very difficult to do, right? And then when I finally got it, and I was just trying to light it, and it was like, what the fuck? And then I felt it, and was like, oh, he fucking put glue in there.
He gummed it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I like the idea of you're like, and then I got it in there and I hit it. You know what really gets you high?
Yeah,
glue.
Mixing glue with weed.
Now, if you just use airplane glue, I'd be a different kind of addict, I'm sure. But, but yeah, he would do shit like that. That's like he would. I remember him putting like kind of like epoxy sealant. I'd made a bong out of a test tube or not a beaker.
Okay.
That I'd stolen from the school, and we'd put a hole in it. I mean, I was so proud of it.
Like a hookah?
Yeah, well, like a bubbler, basically like a bubbler with a stopper. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love those.
Yeah, and he sealed it up, so we went to go light it. It wouldn't. I was like, I want to do it, and then
it's so funny to me that he just sealed all your stuff, and then like, you're like coming to the party, and you're like, we're gonna party tonight. And you're like, damn it, Dad, prank me again.
Hey, son, I noticed you had a hole in that vase. I went ahead and sealed it up for you.
Yeah, I love how you think my dad was Norm Macdonald.
But you didn't get grounded or in more trouble for that, like.
Not
he would
really.
just glue up your weed and be like, I got him.
They would ground me for stuff. They sent me to drug treatment for drugs. But at that point, it was more like they were sort of riding the clock out, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just, as long as I wasn't driving drunk and doing whatever, they were like, okay, you're going to school every day. You know, they weren't endorsing it anyway, but they just got tired of, like, if I was...
Your grades were good?
Well, if they enforced all the groundings, I'd still be grounded. Do you know what I mean? Right. Like, I had consecutive you're grounded forevers.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, stacking up on top of each other. So
Yeah.
you know, my brother actually was in the Navy at the time, and he had said to me, well, you know, you can only be grounded if you let them ground you. Whoa. And when he said that, I was like, I'm free. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one can keep me down ever again. And I just wouldn't, they would be like, you're grounded. And I'd be like, okay. And then I would just go and do whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a friend, and she was like, yeah, my mom took my keys to my car, and she locked them in this room, and I can't go out. And I'm like, do you know how easy it is to kick a door in? She was like, what? And I was like, yeah, just kick right next to where the knob is, and that door will kick right in. And then I just hear, and she kicks the door in. And I hear Mom go, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? And then she's like, nothing. And then she's like, I'm in the car, I'm coming to get you.
Oh, wow. I've got the package. I'm on my way.
Yeah. There was always people willing to sneak me out. So I didn't have a car for a very long time. But I always had somebody who was like, would throw a pebble at my window and 1 o'clock in the morning to have me sneak out of the house. And
wow.
What was your sneak out procedure?
Mine was that I would go out the window and jump off there was like a little landing by my window.
So you weren't on the first floor. You were.
I was on the second floor. But when I would sneak back in, so the only way that would work is if I left the sliding glass door unlocked. Before I went to bed, and then I'd go to bed, and then everybody would be asleep, and then I would sneak out, and then when I'd sneak in, I'd come in through so I couldn't climb up, obviously, to the second floor.
Yeah.
So I would sneak in through I did that quite a few times. I know, right?
Did you ever build a decoy in the bed?
Yes, I did that.
Yeah?
And got busted on that a couple of times. And then I got brazen about it. I had a picture of who was it? I can't remember the actress's name. I had a picture of, they might have been like Lucille Ball or something.
Okay.
That I had, that was like, it was like I just cut her face out. And so I put in my bed, I did the bed, and I put her face. So like when you open the door, you saw a lump of a body, and then out of like where the covers would be over your head, just Lucille Ball's face. And I remember my mom being like, getting really like, so it was like, you know, it's one thing for you to sneak out, but then to leave a prank behind or whatever. She was offended at that. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, when she went to go touch it, there was glue on it from your dad's weed. Her hand. She's like, she's pranked again.
Right.
No, I always thought that was great. And then after Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where he had the classic, like,
yeah, exactly.
I came home one time. My friends were waiting for me. They're gonna drop me off. I was gonna go say, like, I'm home, Mom, and then sneak out. And I had like eaten some acid and timed it so that like I could say hi to my mom and then go out and like didn't time it quite right. Was tripping pretty hard. I walk into the house to say hi. Like all the lights are off and my mom is just standing there in the dark and she says, "We need to talk."
Oh God!
I was like, "Oh God, what is happening? Oh no!" And like it scared me because I was kind of tripping. And then she takes me upstairs and she has found all the things that I've made paraphernalia out of, including like an antique of hers that I like fucking fucked up. It was like a perfume thing that I'd used the metal pieces to like make a little bong out of.
God.
And she found it and it was all just like laid out like a fucking evidence table. And then she's like, "What do you have to say about this?" And I was just like, "Oh my God, your face is moving." And she's like, my antiques. And I like felt all bad. And she's like, "What the fuck?" You know, like, and I had been in trouble already. And she's like, "You know, you're going down a bad path." And, you know, I'm like, and the whole time I'm just like, fuck, my friends are waiting. Like, wrap this shit up. Like, yeah, I know I'm in trouble. I'm fucked, whatever. And she's like, yeah, you know, she talked to me for like 30, 40 minutes. And then she's like, you know, we'll talk more about this tomorrow. And I go down, I walk into my bedroom, close the door, walk over to the window, open it, get out, and run to meet my friends.
Oh my God.
Didn't get caught for sneaking out there was another night where they called my mom while I was in jail. And they call her from jail, and they're like, "We have your son here in jail." And she's like, "No, you don't. He's sleeping in his bedroom."
Oh, no. I lived with my grandmother for a little while, and she went through my dad and all his brothers.
Yeah.
And they were hellions.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad partied so hard. And back-to-back days, I had an issue where she went to do my laundry. That's how my grandmother was. She would just find stuff, do it.
Yeah.
And she found a box, and most of it was seed.
Yeah.
But she just found all this stuff. And my dad, when we came home, she goes...
Seed? She found
Seeds. Yeah, she found seed.
box full of seed?
Just found just a sock full of seed.
Buckets full of semen.
She found all
my
this stuff.
buckets.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But she found pot and seeds, and mostly flake. And my dad came in, and he just goes, "Where's the big bag?" And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Where's the big? This is trash.
Yeah.
She found trash. Where's the big bag?" And so then I pulled it out, and I had about a ½ ounce. And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You don't dump that." He goes, "You keep that." He goes, "I'm going to tell you what's going to make her happy." He goes, "Just put all that in one bag, look sad, and go in and dump it in the toilet, and make sure she watches you flush it. And then go, 'I'm sorry,' and that's all you got to do."
Wow.
He goes, "I've been through this a lot." And at that point, my dad turned into like my older brother.
Oh, wow.
And
Interesting.
then it was like 2 weeks later, I went out, was tripping, and I came home, and I don't remember why, but I came home and was still tripping. Like, that was the problem. And my grandmother had this strict rule about dinner. Like, when you came home, you had to eat, and she hated it when you went out and had like McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
I was so fucked up, and my grandma would make steak for all of us. I don't think she to this day, I don't think she cooked the steak. I think she saw my pupils, and she goes, "Aren't you hungry?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she put a steak down, and I looked at it, and I mean, it was breathing, and I was like, and she goes, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I'm just, I don't," and she goes, "Is it not cooked enough, honey?" And I was like, I ate McDonald's. I'm sorry. I knew it would offend you.
That's amazing.
Meat.
That is amazing. Yeah, I've done that. I've gone home, and my mom decided to tell me that my parents were getting a divorce when I was tripping on acid. And I was sort of doing the same thing where I was kind of like popping in and popping out. You know what I mean? Just making an appearance.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Sit down, we have to talk," or whatever. And I remember we were sitting like in the kitchen in my house in Myrtle Beach at the little table in the kitchen. And I'm looking over in the corner of the room, and it's like where the stove and all that is. And it's like the little just corner, and it's the darkest spot in the room. And it literally looks like it's a black hole just eating everything around it. And she's over going, "Oh, and you'll stay at his house on weekends and my house." And I'm like looking over here thinking we're just about to die the whole time. I'm like, yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah. I don't like being around my parents on those. Like, I can be a little high, but I don't like to be around them on that level. They're too chaotic to deal with, Yeah.
No, acid and parents, not a good.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's like Pink Floyd had to have done acid around their parents.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Leave those kids alone. Oh man.
Right.
So, how about rocks? You got any rocks or crystals?
I do love a crystal.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite?
Only as for medicinal purposes. So I mostly fuck with black tourmaline.
Tourmaline. Hold on.
Yes.
I think I might.
Yeah, I don't have. I'm traveling without any. Usually,
Really?
I'd have like several.
Black tourmaline.
Oh, this
What the fuck?
that's not genuine. Okay.
Okay.
I'm joking. But usually I have a couple necklaces on. I just didn't travel with them.
Neither one of us. It's
And then
kinda weird.
rose quartz.
Rose quartz is great.
And I only started that when I started comedy because there are so many dark-sided people in comedy.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, but I think I'm an empath, and sometimes I can just vibe off of like somebody's being nice to my face, but I can feel them not liking me. You know what I mean? And I feel like for whatever reason, that combination sort of takes the edge off of that a little bit.
Yeah.
I also, if I'm not like completely just blisteringly high, that usually I'm not paranoid that everyone, you know what I mean? But yeah, I found that was like my coping.
Does a rose quartz protect you from
Rose quartz
bad
is like a
vibes or
love.
what?
It's like a love. So
it's-
basis of love, and then I love everybody except for you negative ass motherfuckers who need to stay the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
That's like and then occasionally I'll wear some tiger's eye.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be like good luck and fortune and all that.
You know what I love about
But none of it works. It's all bullshit.
I don't know, but
It's all fucking bullshit. Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, I have so many crystals. Like, I can't get into it.
You know when I learned Spencer Pratt. Do you know who Spencer Pratt is? And Heidi from like The Hills or whatever.
Oh, huh.
Yeah. Well, they're some fucking human waste fucking celebritards, and they love crystals. And that's what. So if they like it, then it's got to be complete and utter horse bullshit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I like them as a collectible thing, and there's a few that I've had that I felt. Like I want to say transformation with. Okay. Moldavite was one, and God,
you felt transformation. What the fuck
let
does
him
that mean?
Before you mock him, let him get it all the way out.
Yeah,
I'm just.
I'm gonna mock him too.
No, it's like so. Moldavite is not an. It's that happened when a meteorite hit the Czech Republic. So it's the only. It's the only tactite you can get.
Yeah. And Xenu and Jesus are butt fucking in Nirvana right now. But
so I can't say what it is. All I know is I put it on and my left side went numb.
Your left side.
My left side went numb.
Okay. Is that the desired effect? Or?
I have no idea what it is.
That's called Bell's palsy.
Well, whatever it is. Like, but it was. I noticed.
Are you vacuum pumping your dick and like half your face paralyzed?
Yeah.
That'll cause Bell's palsy, by the way. I don't know if your viewers know that.
Yeah. But I don't know. Moldavite was
what was the other one? What was the other one?
The other phenokite, I think, was the other one. And that was another one that's. I wish I could explain what it was, but.
Well, how did it feel? I don't know.
Transformation.
Yeah, you said transformation.
Are you trying to go half
No.
Is that like a goal of yours? You're like, you know what? I want not to feel the left side of myself.
Right. No, I didn't have that desire.
Lefty loosey, right?
Like I bought the crystal. I've been reading books about it. I bought it from a guy who wrapped it on lot.
Okay.
And I put it on, and that just happened.
Okay.
And so I got very like.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe you hadn't recharged it in the moonlight. Do you do that? Do you recharge them in the moonlight? Have you ever heard that before?
Yes, I've heard that before. Yeah, I have heard that before.
Let me ask the question.
Yeah.
Why on earth would a rock that's in the ground on the earth be recharged by the moon?
Right.
Is a rock that's never been in the earth.
Well. We keep calling them rocks. They're very much crystals.
Whatever.
This reminds me of the first episode where we started talking and I just couldn't stop laughing because I told Zach, I was like, I feel like this whole podcast is just getting me to go, I do believe in this shit, goddammit. I know it's stupid, but I find it to be like, sometimes it's just fun. You know what I mean? Like,
but have you ever have you ever counter crystalled somebody? So you know they're walking around with like a rose quartz black tourmaline, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to have some agate and some motherfucking feldspar for this bitch. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I usually counter.
No, you can't. That's because like
all right.
I've researched the negative impacts of crystals.
You're an evil
to weaponize them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, evil. That's evil. That's some evil shit.
What?
I mean,
he's got a list of people that he's going after and what crystals he's going to do.
If I ever give you a bracelet.
Yeah, and then left half of your body goes numb.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. That's pretty.
But I just like the fact that you keep tourmaline on you.
I do,
because that is a grounding crystal. So technically, you're still grounding yourself.
Well, I mean, you got to keep your feet on the ground. You keep reaching for those stars.
Right.
You know? I didn't know it was a grounding. I thought it was more of like it's like if you are being negative to me.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck you, bitch.
So it's grounding for you, and then it's also a blockage for like negative energy, which is and then the rose quartz should counter because you're being positive towards basically everything. You're supposed to be just kind of radiating.
I'm sort of I've always been told I'm too nice.
Yeah.
No, I guess I've never been told that.
No, I was about to say. I believe Payne just said you're evil.
I think I have the palsy. I think my left side went dumb.
Right?
Well, I am to your left.
No, I tend to. I mean, I don't know. I think comedy is one of those things where it's like we all act like we're friends. So sometimes it's a little hard to when people try to be passive aggressive about shit.
Yeah.
And you just want, and I'm not that way with my friends and family, you know what I'm saying? So my way to handle somebody who's passive aggressive is to be like, no, fuck you and that behavior, don't do that.
Right.
And you can't do that in comedy. You know what I mean? I can't, to every single person that I want to do that,
right.
I just can't. Maybe maybe when you die, heaven is that you get to go back and relive all those moments, and you get to be like, no, fuck you, and quit comedy because you suck, and you make all the women uncomfortable. Fuck you, you don't know, or whatever. But yeah. But in the meantime, I have to go. So when I found those crystals, gave me just a little bit of, like
this is all bullshit. This is all bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit, but it gives you it's giving you a totem to kind of go, whether it works or not, it works if you believe in it.
Yeah, like I've looked at someone and thought to myself, you're so fucking lucky I'm wearing these goddamn crystals right now. You know what I mean? Like, crystals hold me back, hold me. You know what I mean?
You're more hardcore than I am, but definitely way less hardcore than AJ. So
look, I
think they're fun. I have some, but I don't think they have any magic powers, and I don't carry them around on me. But also I'm of the school of like, if you're just like fuck everything, and then you're no fun. Like, I don't know. I'm going to have a little bit of fun and be like, maybe. I guess I have a piece of selenite on the stairs there, so there's a selenite bath in my house if you walk up the stairs.
Oh, so. I felt it. Yeah. I did feel it. That's what that was.
Yeah. I do. I have an addictive personality for a lot of things. I mean, that was what. Once I got into jam bands, it was over. I was like, oh, this is a mess. And the deck was great.
How much money have you spent on posters this year?
Ooh, man.
Oh, that can add up.
That's an interesting question.
I just talked about this on the other podcast.
Did you get them framed, or do you just?
I do frame them. Yeah. I definitely.
That was really expensive then.
My wife was like, if we're hanging posters on the wall in our 40s, it has to be framed. But
your wife sounds like a good person.
Do you have some posters in your collection, Payne?
I've got a few that are not up. Are
they still in tubes?
Getting them framed is there's a lot of stuff in tubes.
There's a backlog. We have a lot.
One day will go up.
But we also have a lot of art on the wall.
Yeah.
So it's one of those instances where it's like something has to go in order for us to put something else up, or it's going to start looking like a Ruby Tuesdays up in our house.
and there's not a lot of show posters because, unfortunately, I tend to be messy at the end of the night. I am not good at keeping up with the show posters or getting them home and put them up.
Or talking to the person at the vending counter. You're not going to, if you're too high, you're going to be like, yeah.
So I don't buy posters.
There's a few. There's definitely a couple Wilco posters I know that are in a tube.
I need like a responsible chaperone
you gotta have,
to keep up with that type of thing at a show.
Yeah, I'm not used to carrying shit around with me, so whenever I have something, I fucking leave it a lot.
What the fuck am I going to do with this for the rest of the night?
And if you're really out there, like if you're at a show and you got a poster and you're tripping really hard and you wake up the next morning and you have that poster, that's a badge of honor.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I don't think I'll ever make it home with all the shit that I left the house with.
I mean, I'm probably like $240.
Oh, that's way better than I thought. I figured you would be in 1,000.
I thought he bought 240 posters.
No. So I average at a show sometimes. The problem is they're about $60.
Yeah,
that's an average. And then if Conscious Alliance is there, then I'm doubling down because I firmly back that company. They help feed families in need.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes, I mean, I plan to spend 60 and I'm already 120 and I got two goddamn tubes for no reason.
Wow.
I mean, even if you just get through, pre-show, I mean, there's a lot of good things to spend money on and
once you get to the
to
lot,
have fun with. And I mean, the lot is so much a part of the show and the fun.
And sometimes I like the helping support the people on the lot too. I mean, you're just out there buying weird trinkets. And if you're tripping, like everyone's got stuff you can look at. And then you're just hearing grilled cheese.
Right.
And then nitrous balloons exploding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I love those. Will they have those at the
They will definitely have those.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And there'll be all kinds of amazing baked edibles that people have made at home.
I think I might only like that stuff because of the nitrous, honestly.
Yeah.
The Laughing Skull, where I do a lot of comedy in Atlanta, is right down the street from the Fox.
Oh,
and it used to be that... what's that awful one? Widespread Panic. I mean, no offense to Widespread Panic.
They're in Atlanta. They are.
But they would do New Year's Eve all the time. And there was a couple times where they would do it at the Fox. And so we would walk down between the shit, because we do like 5, 8, and 10:30, whatever.
Yeah.
On New Year's Eve, and we'd walk down between the 5 and 10:30 to go get some balloons. And so the 5 and the 8 would be amazing. And then the 10:30 would just be... shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
When I used to party a lot, there were a couple times, I think Wes Van Horn and Scott Schaefer and I, the last time I really...
Wait, Wes Van Horn?
Yeah, Wes Van Horn. Yeah,
you said his name in a weird way. Like,
I may have.
Like his last... I don't know. But you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. like Van Horn.
Van Horn.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got just a couple of cases of whippets and went nuts one time. And then we were like, we have a show to do.
Oh, God. Wow.
Yeah. I had this friend, he was Irish and Japanese, which, man, that's a party combo.
Yeah.
And his dad was a dentist, and he would get the medical grade.
For his birthday.
No, just like regularly, like he would just like show up at my house, and he'd be like, he was doing so many whippets where he'd be like doing them while he was driving around.
Oh no, I don't.
Oh, God.
Like just lightly, just like a little,
Just a little nitrous.
Yeah,
that's supposed to go to the car.
As far as I know, never crashed doing nitrous while driving.
God,
But
it will knock you out if you do even slightly too much. Yeah.
I saw a guy, he was huffing so much, he punched his windshield. And it was just like, and I was like, okay, you've got to figure yourself out.
Oh, yeah. Like, I know one person in Atlanta that, like, they do many drugs.
Yeah.
But they're like, the thing that keeps putting them back in, situations is
Nitrous?
Nitrous, whippets.
Really?
Yeah. It's like the one they keep going
Well,
back
it's
to.
huffing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, essentially huffing. But they don't huff anything else. It's nitrous.
Yeah, they have their preferred thing, but if you like hit duster or a bag of gasoline, it does the same thing pretty much. It's
I used to watch, so on Lotto.
you don't feel as good when you wake up from passing out hitting the bread bag of gasoline, but the whippets definitely feel a lot cleaner than the gasoline. But
On Lot sometimes I'll see guys get the big balloons, and then they just walk around going, and they're just like doing that, and I was like, oh no, don't you take it in, blow it out, take it in, blow you got to really push until you nearly pass out. That's when you get there.
You keep doing it until the balloon goes.
Yes. That's when you know you're tripping, because you go, and then that doesn't stop for a while.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
No, and then you go,
God,
I need another balloon.
I just want to do some nitrous.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. That's what we should do.
We should get one in the. We should just get a nitrous tank for the.
Oh, a tank just to be
just for the podcast.
Yeah, at the end, everybody does a whippet, and then we try to do.
I feel like if we lived in a society, where you could go to the bar, and I need a vodka soda, and they're like, you? And I'm like, oh, I don't want a vodka soda, but can I take a couple toots off of a nitrous mask that make me? And they just go, oh, that'll be $9 or whatever. You know what I mean? That's the world we need to live in.
Instead of doing shots, you're just doing. Nitro.
I had this dentist once, and she's like, so you can do nitrous, but it's like $70 extra. And I was like, hell yeah, I want it. And,
I'm not paying this bill anyway.
She's like, yeah, you have a lot of anxiety. And I'm like, oh yeah, tons. And then she's like doing it, and she's like, well, you just tell me when you start feeling it, and I'll turn it down. And I'm like, I'm not feeling it.
You're standing up going, I don't think so.
I'm not feeling it.
Right.
I'm not feeling it. And then there's like some country song playing on the radio, and it's like, wah, 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 wah. And I'm like, I'm not feeling it still. And she goes,
it's empty.
She's like, just it coming out of your mask where I'm at. She's like, I'm starting to feel it. She's like, you're getting me high. I have it cranked so high. She's like, it's literally as high as it goes. And I'm like, yeah. It is rules.
Yeah.
So,
have you seen Widespread Panic?
I have. I'm not such a big Widespread fan though. I don't dislike Widespread, but I've never really followed them.
Yeah, I like my Panic localized.
Yeah,
right.
I was embarrassed about this one. Probably my favorite band, the one I've spent the most money on, is String Cheese.
Yeah.
And so in 2001, I saw Cheese and Panic were doing a flip flop tour, and I was lucky enough to see them with Mikey Hauser. Nice. Before he passed.
See,
nice.
You and I are like, what the fuck are they?
That's it. I had to explain to Zac at one point what a run was, and he goes, "What are you talking about? Why would like a Mission run or a Fox run?" And he goes, "You just go to the show," and I'm like, "No, it's usually multiple nights, and they consider it a run."
Oh
yeah, I'd like to do that.
It's like basketball.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that baseball?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where they play like 3
Yeah,
games.
so you do like Nashville, Atlanta, Raleigh.
Yeah, but they do.
Like
but
that.
they play 3 games against each other.
Yeah,
Instead
yeah.
of just 1 game.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I know very little about sport.
Well, probably more than me.
I don't know.
I know a lot about the locker room. What happens there?
Well, we have just a little bit of time left. I have one more question I want to ask you before we figure out if you're a hippie or not.
Okay.
But do you hippie smells? Are you a patchouli guy? Do you burn anything other than weed in your house? Like, do you burn incense? Do you burn Palo Santo or sage?
No. I'll fuck with some sandalwood.
Yeah.
I would consider that to be a hippie smell. Right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. There's
Patchouli.
sandal is in the
Yeah.
description.
You'll bathe with the patchouli soap.
Oh no, that's pine tar. That's a totally different thing.
It's about the patchouli soap that I buy.
Oh wait. Oh, that big ass. But that's different. You're buying that because it's $1 at Marshall's. You're not buying that because like you love patchouli soap. You're buying that because it's like it's expired in terms of anyone else ever wanting it. So they sent it to the store for it to die, and then you're like, oh, we're gonna wash our bodies with that. So
But when you
that's a
wash your
different-
body with it, do you enjoy the scent?
well, no. I use a pine tar soap, and that smells like burning buildings.
Burning. So
Yeah.
I'm confused. Like every time I hear tar, I think black tar.
Yeah.
So what is pine tar? It's just the
It's,
gumminess
I
from
guess,
like a pine needle.
from a pine. You know what I mean? Like you ever fucked a Christmas tree?
Oh, you betcha.
But
You bathe and you
it
smell like you
smells like a
surrounded
burnt. It
fire.
smells like a burnt forest.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's pretty metal.
Well, I mean, I want the world to smell like it's burning. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it gives me a sense of urgency. But no, so yeah, patchouli, sure, but I wouldn't ever put that fragrance on me on purpose.
Okay. But it doesn't. But the
if I
smell of it
smelled
doesn't
I would-
infuriate you.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, this is one of the toughest cases I think
is.
that we've ever had on Hippie Not Hippie.
Wow.
It is because there's lots of aspects that lean one way. Do you own any tie-dye garments?
You just told me you were going to ask me one more question, and now you're asking me about tie-dyes?
Well,
Wow.
Zach said that.
I do own tie-dyes, and I actually used to make tie-dyes. I worked a whole summer making tie-dyes.
What?
Yeah, my arms were purple, 'cause, like you would hand dye them so much.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you doing? So you were making
But the
tie-dyes.
whole time we were doing that, we were listening to Depeche Mode and The Cure and all that. So
That explains all the purple.
yeah. But that's where I got turned on to things like The Doors and Grateful Dead and
So, but that's
that
crazy.
guy.
So you were listening to like new wave and stuff like that while you were tie-dye.
But I lived in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, so we were making these tie-dye shirts that were then sold to the beachwear stores, and then they would print something on it like
Yeah.
Raise Hell this Summer or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach Party School.
So you were kind of learning how to work lot. You were gonna work in a parking lot.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
At a Phish show.
Yeah. I know how to make a bean burrito. Yeah, I can work
Yeah?
on a lot. Yeah.
Well,
That's tough. So that was.
Wow.
I felt pretty good on my behalf.
all right,
Well, I think we can agree, right? Like Payne?
Payne is definitely a fucking hippie.
Yeah.
Payne we agree on for sure. But Ian,
But also their relationship makes it, right?
What?
I mean, you're putting up with a hippie pretty regularly.
yeah,
I
and
mean-
part of me wonders if he has
Maybe I
if he
like a
has
dirty
Munchausen hippie by proxy.
Yeah.
And the hippie extended family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. His whole family is nothing but a bunch of just.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that song? That what I think of when you're family. Never mind. But no, they're like they all. Yeah, his whole family, man.
Well, yeah. Well, you're tied in with the Allman Brothers.
Oh, what's that song? That's that song,
amazing.
"Family Tradition." That's the song I think of with your
Family
tradition.
You guys,
Hank
as
Williams,
parents,
they're all
were like
country
trying to
hippies.
find your drugs in high school, and I was going with my mom to buy her pot.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, it's a whole different deal.
You were driving her home because she was all home, but
Yeah.
allegedly.
I remember my
for
dad
sure.
one time going, Now, just know if you're going to do LSD, you need to be careful. Be in a safe space and don't have anything to do for a couple days. Peyote, stay away from it. You're just going to run a car into something.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, then he found out years later that his dad like drove his car through a building on peyote.
Into a person's house. This story, I don't know if he'll ever tell it on the podcast, but yeah, on peyote, he drove a car into a house.
Yeah.
And then was massively confused. I mean, clearly, he got out onto the car. He was in their bedroom, and the people are freaking out. And he was so ate up that he started asking the lady. He was like, "I don't feel right. Would it be okay if you made me breakfast? I need to eat." And then she started hitting him with a broom. And he goes, "Oh, something's not right with this lady." And then the guy's yelling, and he was like, "Oh, maybe something's not right with me." So he got in the car, and he goes, "I started listening to the radio. And thank God, like, my favorite song came on." And he goes, you know what I mean? Because that started to calm him down. And meanwhile, cops just start surrounding the scene. And the officer comes up and they go, "Son, we'd like to get you out of the car." And he goes, "I'm having a difficult time. I had a woman hit me with a broom. Another man is yelling at me. I'm getting no breakfast. I will get out of the car politely when my favorite song is over." He never told me what it was. He just kept referring to it as his favorite song.
It was, "Hey, teacher,
leave those kids alone." But yeah, and then the cop was like, I'm only gonna tell you one more time." And I came from like an Irish Mason family. There's a lot of like fighters and bruisers. And my dad was like, "Well, you're not gonna tell me anything." And he goes, "You need to get out of the car." And he goes, "I'll tell you, I'm gonna get out of this car when my song is over." And the officer then went, "Son, there's no way your radio's on. Your battery has been ejected from the vehicle." At which point he goes, "Oh no," and just lost it. Ended up fighting 6 cops.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say his favorite song was Alice's Restaurant, but I'll look out 3 or something.
That's all, yeah.
25
ain't about a DeVita, baby."
Hold on, I gotta flip the record.
Right. I DJ'd for a little bit in college, and the song was, I can't remember the name of the band, but there was a song called This Corrosion, and it was 17 minutes long.
Wow.
And so anytime you had to smoke a bowl or take a shit, you'd put that on and be like, "Oh, we'll be back in 17 minutes.
That was always like the super long songs were always the guys trying to put in. There's a strip club called the Outhouse in Kansas, and guys would be like, "Hey, is this Tool song on there?"
Yeah.
And every now and again they would play it.
So they get the extra long laugh.
Yeah, and then you would hear one of the girls go, "No."
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Meatloaf praying for the end of time. I like to do. All right, on the count of 1, 3,
2, 1. Hippie.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, man.
you surprised?
I think Payne's influence.
I don't know. I'm sitting here thinking like you're less than a hippie than I thought you were. That's what I found out.
Right.
You were less of a hippie than I thought.
So
I'm
we're gonna
not
fix
a
that.
joiner.
I think
We're going to work on that. I've got a list.
I mean, I love drugs. I just don't like people and like cult. That, you know what I mean? Like, you have to, like, to be a hippie, it's a social thing. I think.
It is a mindset, I think.
What put you over for me? It was real close, but what put you over is the fact that you do carry crystals on you.
Well, that's for that.
Like, if you carry crystals on you, and then the fact that
He was a tie-dye machine.
you made tie-dyes, but there was always a counterpoint there where he's like, but it was for corporate, greed, and then he's like,
But then also it went from, but that's what led me into the Grateful Dead and the Doors.
yeah.
The first time I ever really truly listened to Led Zeppelin was a night where I was on acid. We had been tie-dyeing all day long. And I can't remember the song, but there was a girl sitting across from me, and she was lip-syncing all the Robert Plant lyrics. Yeah. And she was just doing it so good that it just felt like, I was like, that was the first time I was like, oh, I'm fucked. Alison McKellar, if she ever listens to this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you were definitely a hippie, but I think you're moving away from it. I think if we talk to you maybe in 2 years that you Maybe like you didn't bring your magic rocks on your trip with you. Maybe this is the start of.
Well, I mean, I wear them all the time.
Payne, I'm rooting for you.
I have a list. Right? Yeah. Just kidding. I have a list.
Yeah.
Well, you only wear crystals because I bought you some, so it's like
That's true. What?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not all crystals.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, you saw Jerry live, which that holds a big part for me.
That is true. When I was in high school, I ran with a group of people that were like, when the Grateful Dead would come, we would definitely see them in Atlanta, and then there were multiple times where we made plans together and went and saw.
You saw them in other locations.
Yeah, just southeast,
Yeah.
And it was super. It was a great time, and it was very much the lot aspect of it is what made it so fun.
Yeah.
And then like you see somebody and you're like, oh well, we're also traveling to this next place.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I was really there for the drugs.
Well, yeah, but that's I mean, part of it is that whole feel of like being in. It's this odd little counterculture. It's like being at a state fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, Whippets has me like way more excited about the show in July. Like I'm gonna bring some of my own. I think I'm gonna fuck it. I'll bring a cracker and a balloon. I'll sell Whippets at the I'm involved now.
That's not a bad idea. Think about that.
If they had like whippets at like church, I would be like, let's go to church this Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, not every Sunday.
Isn't that great if they just handed out the balloons and are you guys ready to sing? And you're like, I'm ready to hear.
I'd be like, I want to go to the ketamine church.
Well, I've been there 7 times.
Well, hell yeah. Where can people find you?
Just close your eyes and I will. I'm on Instagram and TikTok as Aber Comedian, ABEAR Comedian, and and if you're ever in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm basically at the Left and Skull every Sunday, working at 7:30.
And AJ, listen to your album.
Night Sugar.
So it was great. Where can people find your album?
Night Sugar is available on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, all that good stuff. Yep.
Oh yeah.
And check it out. It's great.
Thank you. We had a good time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Payne, you got anything you want to plug?
Thanks for having me on. I
Just
enjoyed
me.
spending some time with you guys.
And I'm just curious because what is your favorite band? If you had to pick one, Payne.
I don't know if I have a favorite.
I hate that kind of question.
Yeah,
It's like,
what
are bands that are in your top 3?
Yeah.
What's a band in your top 3?
Like if a band came through, you're like, we're definitely going to go see these guys.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I usually always go to Phish. I usually always go to Dead Company. I used to go to Dave Matthews all the time.
Do you ever see him at the Gorge? Have you been to the Gorge?
Yes.
Okay.
We've been to the Gorge a couple times,
Twice.
actually.
I've never been.
Yeah.
And we're going to the Gorge for the first time this year to see the end of the
fuck yeah.
tour. And then
You'll have a great time.
After we get done, we're seeing a show at Red Rock so we can make that comparison to
I want to see a show at Red Rocks really bad. So
Yeah, I've never seen one.
we've never seen a show there.
Yeah.
And that's high on my list. Probably number 1 place I'd like to see a show.
Red Rock. You got to go.
but I haven't.
How long are you guys in town?
So Monday.
Do you guys have a car, right?
Yeah.
Have you gone to Red Rock?
Yeah, we went up there the last
perfect.
time. We'll probably go again. I mean, it was
The Gorge is different. It's
nice.
just more remote,
Yeah.
and it's more like, I mean, both are like just like breathtaking. But like the Gorge, it's like over like there's like a river behind where the concert's taking place, and there are
People can camp.
and there are boats.
Yeah.
Yeah, we camped. Well, we got a RV.
Yeah.
So if that counts as camping. I mean, I made a birthday cake while we camped, so it's not really camping, is it?
Yeah, we're camping. We're camping for 3 days. We
Yeah.
got the pre-day to get in and get settled.
Yeah.
The next day we have the tickets for the show, and the third night we don't have tickets for the show.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, I was like, maybe we just take it in.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
we still have like another 7 days on the road.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
it's really you
beautiful
guys are
down
having
there.
a great time.
At what time of year are you going?
Labor Day.
July.
Oh,
is it
July.
July?
Yeah, so
wow, that's great.
Zach and I are going July 1st, and then we're actually giving away 2 tickets to Dead & Co.
Really?
for the Boulder Run July 3rd. So the last day they're playing in Colorado.
Yeah. I love how
May
people
18th
say
for Atlanta. That's when we're going to see Saturday.
18th?
Yeah.
So it's going to be banging.
May
It'll be
18th?
great. Yeah.
In 2015, Atlanta was the first Dead & Co. show I saw at that whatever the basketball arena is.
Okay, yeah.
State Farm.
State Farm, yeah. And it was wild because the lot was amazing. But that was the year, in 2015, they hadn't really merged yet. So you were watching like John Mayer fans and teeny boppers show up. And boy, halfway through it, they were leaving. And then there were some hardcore Dead fans that weren't turned on yet, and they were leaving. Like, probably 25% of the audience walked. It was the craziest thing I saw.
That's insane.
Yeah, we live like
Not enough nitrous.
Yeah. Right?
They're like, we got to go get some more fucking balloons, some canisters.
Yeah.
we live around the corner from the big amphitheater. It's like right down the street. So usually, like on the days of the shows, and have people over, and we smoke and do mushrooms, and drink, and then walk down to the show, and party, and like make our way back. And it's a great concert.
That's great. The fact that you guys can just kind of walk to the venue and walk back. Not good for losing stuff.
Yeah, definitely not good for that.
That's part of the problem.
I'm headlining Comedy Works June 8th. Please fucking come.
Yeah, check it out.
I'm also doing this weird train tour the first week of May.
Oh, yeah.
From Chicago to Trinidad. I'm doing 5 shows in like Kansas City, Dodge, Kansas, La Junta.
Dodge City, Kansas is
you're
wild.
taking Amtrak the whole way?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that sounds cool.
it's part of the Chief Comedy Festival, and there's 4 of us that are going to ride a train for 9 days. I think we're doing 6 shows.
Oh, that's really
But
cool.
you're on the east to west one, right? And then there's a west to east, and everyone meets in Trinidad.
Yeah, and then we meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And then they're sending a film crew along. They're gonna film it as a documentary.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
yeah.
Especially since it's not a sleeper car. I get to get off the train and sleep in a fucking bed. Like,
Yeah.
That's really
because
good.
I rode a train for 3 days once, and man, it was a long 3 days.
Yeah, I bet.
But,
I'll be down there on the 6th for that festival. I'm super stoked about it.
and we're gonna be doing a live Hippie Not Hippie down there too.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to be there for the 5th and the 6th, but May 5th, I'm doing a show for the Denver Psychedelics Club, I believe, at the Bug Theater.
Ian and Payne, thanks so much for coming on and
This was
chatting
a
on
pleasure.
and, yeah, great.
Well, I'll have
hanging
to
out,
go to
guys.
a show sometime.
Hell yeah. That's
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to go to a show at Red Rocks or something.
Yes. We got to make that happen.
I'll do it.
Oh yeah, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
and make sure and get on the motherfucking
Motherfucking.